friends. Thank you for stopping by my channel. I'm Nikki and this is Nikki Jo Budgets, and I want to do something a little different today. I want to go over my binder situation and kind of explain some things. So if you're feeling overwhelmed with the whole stuffing envelopes, cash saving, challenges, all of that kind of stuff, I completely understand. I know that there's a lot going on in this community, in this cash stuffing community. You've got sinking funds, you've got high priority, you've got low priority, you've got your debt, you've got this, you've got that, you've got many challenges and tiny challenges and long-term challenges, and it's very overwhelming. I know that when I watch a lot of the videos and the channels I follow, that they're saving large amounts of money, or what to me feels like large amounts of money, that I just like that's not even a possibility for me. So that being said, I want you to understand that small amounts really matter. So if you've been following my channel and watching my videos, you know that they think the most I've ever stuffed or saved at one time is $50. And it's adding up. So when I started doing my channel, I had reset my whole budget system and started over from scratch. And by the way, if you hear the dog chewing in the background, I apologize. He never eats at this time of day, but here we are. Anywho, I know when I started this savings, the channel, which I believe was about 2 months ago now, I started back at zero. I started from scratch, and I have now saved almost $400. And I do know that when I'm not doing this system, that $400 would have been spent on impulse shopping, stupid things that I just didn't need. So it's working, and it's working with small amounts. Like I said, I've never saved more than $50 at a time. And I think I only did that one time in the last 2 months. The other thing I want to talk about is all the binders. Now, you don't even have to have a binder. Like I discussed this in my very first video. You don't even have to have a binder. You can just do this with paper envelopes and write it on the front. I have been doing this off and on for a very long time, so I do have a collection of binders. That being said, I don't know if you can see my spread here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 binders sitting here in front of me. Okay, and I know that I have one more that's not up here that I only use when we have a vacation that we're planning, and right now we're not doing that. So I don't have that one out here, but I want to go through what my binders have in them and talk a little bit about that. So I like to break down my savings into the smallest categories possible. So I have, so let me back up a second. Most of these binders are actually sinking funds, okay? It's what we call sinking funds. It's saving for things that are coming up in the future, okay? And most of these are. Some of these are different, but we're going to go over each one. I also want you to note that if you've watched my videos, you know that you have not seen all of these in my videos, because we do not stuff and save in all of these every time. If you feel like you've got to stuff money in every single category, in every single envelope, every single time you have extra money or get paid, in my opinion, you are more likely to fail. You need to be consistent, and you need to pick out what's most important for you in your life, in your moment right now. So let's get started on how I want to go over this, okay? First, I just want to show you what I have binders for. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about is my, let's start with this purple binder, okay? This purple binder is my Monday Minis. And if you've watched my videos, you've seen it. It's where I roll the dice and I do my challenges, okay? Each challenge in here is assigned to a sinking fund category. For example, this is for my emergency fund. All right? My emergency fund to me is a high priority. When this challenge gets fully funded, I then put that money into the binder that holds that envelope. So that emergency fund envelope is not getting necessarily funded every single time with large amounts, but when I get the savings challenge done, that money then goes to that sinking fund, which is a high priority fund for me. Okay, so this binder just holds my mini challenges and the roll the dice game that I play every Monday. I play in this binder with $15. I've never had more than $15 to use at a time in this. So $15 a week is all I'm putting in here. Okay, and it's adding up, and I've already transferred some out. So there's my Monday book. Okay, on Tuesdays we play a little game called Tiny Tuesdays, and in this binder, again, it's playing games. And every time we complete a challenge in this binder, it goes to, which if you've seen, it's taken me a while to decide where I wanted this to go, but it goes into my debt. So I have a lot of consumer debt, a lot of credit cards that I'm trying to get paid off. So when I finish a challenge in here, it's going to go into my debt binder. Now that we're talking about the debt binder, let's look at it. This is the debt binder. I don't ever put, when I'm doing my stuff and save or anything like that, I have not been putting money in here yet. The only money that's come in here so far is when I completed some challenges on Tuesdays. So in this binder, I have an envelope for every one of my credit cards that I have. Okay, and as you can see, they're all empty. So as I complete a challenge, we'll do this in the debt snowball. I completed some challenges in my Tuesday binder, and I put that money in here because this is the first credit card we're paying off because it has the least amount that's due. Okay, once that's paid off, I will take the payment that I make every month on this card. So every month I pay $30 on this card. Once this card is paid off at zero, that $30 will then roll over into this credit card along with the payment I make for this one. And this one, I pay $40. So now, after Sally is paid off, this card will now get $70 every month because it'll get this one plus what I've already been doing here. And then any of my tiny challenges that I'll add into here. So when I go to make my final payment, I'll have that extra money. Okay, so that's the only way that money goes into the debt binder. And this is just a way for me to have a place to organize and sort the extra dollars that I get from the savings challenges that I'm going to put toward debt. Okay, so that's the debt binder. Now, you guys know when I do my stuff and save on Saturdays, we work in the priority binder. That's this one. In this binder, I have the things that I want to get funded first that are coming up. So, for example, car registration, that's going to be due in October. So, I'm trying to between savings challenges, which are in my Mondays for this one, and my weekly stuff and save, we're building on car registration. The amount of money I put in here every week has been either $1 or $2. Very low because I don't have a lot of extra money. I've got a lot of debt. So I have been adding $1 or $2 to car registration, car maintenance, and emergency fund. The other money that is, I forgot about my NHA also gets $1 every week. The other money that goes into here comes from my Monday Minis savings challenges. And when I complete them, I put them into whatever envelope those challenges are assigned to. This is the, let me think. Yes, this is the only binder of sinking funds that gets funded every single week, even if it's only $1. And it's just right now 4 envelopes. 1, 2, 3, 4. So $4 a week. That's it. So at this point right now, we play $15 on Monday. We play $6 on Tuesday. So that's 21, and then $4 on Saturday for here. That's $25 a week. That's it. That's all that is my guarantee to play with, is $25 a week. If I have more than that to play with, I will. I'll put it in here somewhere else. I mean, sometimes I have more that I can put in the Christmas binder or the birthday binder or the other ones that we're going to go over. But I can afford, and I know I can afford without doubt, $25 every week for those 3 binders. For the Monday minis, the Tuesday tinies, and the 4 envelopes of my high priorities. Okay? That's a guarantee. So, those are the binders that you will see the most. Now, as I get these things funded, as I get my debt just totally lost my train of thought. As I get these 4 envelopes fully funded and I get my debt paid down, then I can venture into some of these other things. So next I want to talk about is my Christmas binder. My Christmas binder, I try to fund out of each paycheck at least $25. This doesn't get touched every week, and sometimes it doesn't get touched at all out of a paycheck. But when it does, this is where I'm saving for the family members that I purchase things for Christmas. Sometimes, like I said, sometimes this gets money, sometimes it doesn't. And that's okay. But in the small amounts that I've been able to do over the last 2 months, I've been able to save $100 for Christmas, and it's only April. So this, like I said, this one sometimes gets money, sometimes it doesn't. It depends on what I have extra. Okay? That is my Christmas binder. Another binder that I try to contribute to at least once a month, even if it's a small amount, is this one. This one I call the birthdays binder. In this binder, I have made dashboards for each month. So January, February, March, etc. And under each month is who has a birthday that month. Okay, so I pay the people that I buy birthday presents for, or anybody in my family that has a birthday. And by saying that, I mean my brother, sister, mom, stepdad, boyfriend, kids, grandkids, nieces, nephews. I only have 2 nieces and 1 nephew, so it's not like a lot. So that's what is in my birthday binder. And my daughter-in-laws, they're in here. So I try to put at least a small amount in every month, even if there's not a birthday in that month. So for the month of April, I had 1 birthday. He's already covered. So now for the month of May, I have no birthdays. In June, I have no birthdays. But I still want to try to put at least $10 each month into the birthday envelopes. And it would go to the next birthday, which is my mom. So, and it's not due till July. However, I can still go ahead and start building it up now. And this is, it's a priority, but it's kind of a lower priority. So if it gets to mom's birthday and I haven't saved up that money for her, I'll just have to pull it from somewhere, probably my emergency fund or something. But I know that I'll have it filled up by then. And the other reason I like to keep applying money when I don't have a birthday in that month is because, like August, I don't have any, but you come September, I have 3 in September, and I have a lot in October. 1, 2, 3, 4. And also I'm going to be adding 1 to July because I have a new grandbaby coming. So It's just, in which I already have her envelope ready, just waiting for her to see if she's going to be a July for sure or an August. You never know. So this is my birthday binder. Again, this does not get touched all the time. And I just like to break it down so that I am prepared as best as I can be. Again, you don't see this one very often. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this one. But that's the birthday binder. Again, you do not need all of these binders. I have collected them over time, and I have made a lot of these envelopes and dashboards myself, and it just makes it easier for me to be prepared and to save. Because if I don't put it aside in these binders, I have a shopping problem, and I'll admit that, and I will spend it. So I have to save. I have to have a place to put it outside of being in my checking account or in my home with easy access. I also use prop money in these. I take the money and put it directly in a high yield savings account as soon as I know how much is coming out of my check into these things. And then I use prop money in the actual binder. So I don't have actual access, easy access to any of the money I'm trying to save. As I know me, and if I have easy access to it, I'll spend it. Another binder that, another expense we've talked about in my videos, but I don't know if I've shown you this one. This is my Dog Mom binder. And I try to put aside $30 a paycheck for my dogs to cover things like the food, the vet expenses, grooming, things like that. Right now, they are $30 in food, and their subscription for food is coming up, so I have that in there. Their tags aren't due until January, but I don't have anything in here. But once I get food fully funded, then I'll fund tags, which, excuse me, food doesn't really count as fully funded because I put the money in and then comes right back out. But you know what I'm saying. So when I know that their subscription's coming up, I took $30 out of my last check, and it's sitting in here waiting until I order their food, which will cost more than this because I do have two dogs that eat quite a bit. But this is just where I put it. So I know when the bill comes due, I have money to pay the subscription that I get when I order their food from Tractor Supply. And I don't have to scramble and try to figure out how I'm buying it. What am I pulling it from? Because I already have it in here. Okay. I am going to, you guys don't always see me put it in here. I'm going to try to be better at that. But that is where I stuff and save for the dogs, is in their in my Dog Mom binder. Okay. The next binder I want to talk about, there are two left that are sinking fund binders. And then those binders I haven't even used yet. So one of them is going to be my month ahead. Would I like to be a month ahead on my bills? 100%. But we aren't there yet. Okay, I can't do the month ahead yet because I want to get my debt paid out. And right now, I pay my bills on time. Month ahead would be that I would have all of my money in here for May's bills, even though May hasn't started yet. And for me personally, month ahead is not a high priority for me. I'm okay with paying my bills on time where they are right now. Eventually I will get to this, but I really want to get my consumer debt paid off. And then I really want to fund some of these other things first, like my car registration, car maintenance, because I know I need tires, Christmas fund, things like that I want to get first. Once I am getting a lot of my debt paid off and I can fully fund these other categories, we'll jump into month ahead. But right now, month ahead is probably the last binder of sinking funds that we'll even touch. And so it's going to be a while before we get to it, but as you can see, it's ready when we are. All right. And then the other binder that isn't getting touched yet right now is what I call the Nikki maintenance binder. So that's this black binder. And this one is my binder for my personal fun stuff. Okay. So for example, money for nails. Now I do my own nails, but if I wanted to go get a pedicure, I would save money in here, which I do my own of those too. But sometimes for a girl's day, we want to go get pedicures or go do something like that. I would put money in here. Also, I will start putting money in here when my supplies are getting low. Right now, I've got a surplus of supplies on doing my own nails, so I don't need to just start using this. And again, I want to get other things funded first. Same with my hair. I do my own hair. I cut and color my own hair. Once my Sally's card is paid off, I plan on probably canceling that card. Maybe, I haven't decided, but that's where I get my supplies for my hair dye, and I want to start putting the money in here, so then when I use my Sally card, I have this money to pay it off, and I don't have that debt build up like I currently have. Massage, skincare, personal care, my tanning package, any fun spending I want to do on Amazon. I don't even know if you guys can see this because they're kind of, I did black and gold because I thought it would be really pretty, but it is kind of hard to see on camera because it's kind of hard to see even in person. But, and then hobbies, shoes, clothes, and this is the big one. And this one, actually, we're going to do it right now. We're going to move this to the front because I have goals of buying a new car next year in 2027, spring of 2027. So it is going to be a higher priority, savings as soon as I can start getting to it. And it may even start getting like $1 or $2. I haven't decided yet, but I may make a new envelope for a new car and move it to high priority because it is a very huge goal for me to be able to get a new car next year. There's nothing wrong with my current car. It's just a 2017, and while it still has lower mileage, I'd like to be able to trade it in while I can and still get the best price for it. So that might become a new envelope in the high priority envelope, in the high priority binder. But this binder here, as of right now, has not been used for anything. But it's ready. It's ready, so when the debts are paid down and I can start spending a little more on fun things for myself, it's ready. Now, hold on one second. Sorry about that. I had to cough. So we've covered all of the binders. Now let me tell you how I keep track of the money. Okay? Obviously, in these binders, and I told you I use prop money. So when I get paid, I pay all my bills and expenses that need to be paid, no questions asked. Whatever's left over is what goes straight into a high yield savings account. And that brings you to my tracking binder, my Winnie the Pooh binder. So what I do is I put the amount of money that's going to go into these binders straight into a high yield savings account. Once each of these categories reaches $100, which the only one we have at that point right now is Christmas, that is when I will create a bucket in my Capital One account. I haven't quite figured out how. It does say that I can open up several accounts. I'm still kind of murky on how it works. I am using Ally for my emergency fund account for that bucket, and everything else right now is in Capital One. I'm still playing around which bank I like better. So anyways, this is how I track it. Okay. I have this binder that is just trackers that I made, and let me know if you like them, by the way. So, whoops, sorry, I shouldn't have turned that. So the first tracker I have in here is for the high yield savings account, the Capital One. Every time I put money into it, I write it on here, okay? That is how much is in the high yield savings account waiting to be put into buckets from these binders. Just stay with me a second here. The second tracker I have is Christmas. Christmas already has its own bucket account in my bank. So now every time when I get paid and I say, oh, I'm going to put, we're going to cash and save this amount, but 25 of it's going to Christmas, I automatically put that amount into here. And this is where I track my Christmas money. The reason my trackers are in one binder is so that I don't have to pull out every binder every time and fill it out. I can just pull out my tracker right when I'm depositing the money, because I do it all at once. I'm not one that's going to go to the bank, get the cash, put it in the binder, and then go back and put it back in the bank. I don't do it that way. So once I have the amount, I know what's going into the bank. I know this amount is going to go for my cash and save, or my games, or my Mondays, or my tinies, or whatever. And then this amount's going into Christmas, and then this amount is going into my emergency fund, and the rest is just going to sit in here until it has the $100 to start its own bucket. So my next tracker is the emergency fund, and then the rest of these trackers right now are empty until the buckets are made. And I find that this is the easiest way for me to track how much money I have saved for each category. That is, so I showed you, like in my high priority binder, we have money set aside for car registration. It hasn't reached its $50 to $100 mark yet, so it's still just sitting right here in this account collecting interest. And once it becomes fully funded, it'll have its own bucket. So I hope that made sense. So this is how I do my cash stuffing. This is all of my binders. This is how I track them, how I keep track of where the money is going. I like that it's sitting in the bank collecting interest instead of sitting in my house collecting dust. So I have no problems whatsoever with people that go to the bank, get the cash, and put their actual physical cash in their envelopes. And they wait till, it gets to $100, and then they take it back to the bank. For me, I just want my money working for me from day one. So I directly put it in there, and this is how I keep track of where it's going to go when it hits that $100 mark. So that's all I've got for today's video. I know this is a long one. I'm not editing it. I don't edit my videos. I do add like an intro and an outro, but I keep it real here. I try not to edit my videos so that you can see everything in real time, and flaws and all. If you have any questions on how I do this, please put them in the comments, and hopefully this helps explain how I use my binders, how I track my money, and how I know exactly what I have for each category. So, yeah, that's all I've got for today. I hope you guys are having a great week. And if you, again, have any questions, let me know. So, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And have a great and God-filled day, and enjoy the rest of your week. Bye, guys.